What's up, everybody? This is Doomhammer with another update with the quarterbacks in my 32-team franchise over 14 seasons. Yes, I play every game, and here we are giving an update on every single starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. So the first quarterback I had was Drew Bledsoe. So this was the first season that Drew had with the Buffalo Bills, and he took them to the Super Bowl. He was with them from 2002 to 2005, went 40-25. Then I had this brilliant idea to do a 3-team trade. So what happened in that trade was the Buffalo Bills trading up to Cleveland's number 5 overall pick. They also got the New Orleans Saints first round pick, or the 11th overall selection. They also got the New Orleans Saints following season, to the 2007 4th round pick. The Saints got Drew Bledsoe and Cleveland's 2007 6th round pick. And the Browns traded back to get the Buffalo Bills first round pick in 2006, the 20th overall pick, where they drafted Cameron Wimbley. And then they have Buffalo's 2007 first round pick and a New Orleans Saints 5th round pick in 2006. So this was a mega trade that netted the Saints an ability to move up in the draft, getting a second first round pick from the Saints while getting rid of Drew Bledsoe. They used the 5th overall pick on Matt Leinart because they wanted to get younger at the quarterback, because they already had Drew Bledsoe. He was getting older, and instead of sticking with Bledsoe, they wanted the new young stud from USC, and it didn't work for them. But it also didn't work for the Saints because they went 10-16. And it didn't work for, I guess the Browns got Cameron Wimbley, who did play for multiple seasons. But yeah, it did not, no team really won that deal. So that ended Drew Bledsoe's career with the Buffalo Bills. Now with that, his real life, which is the NFL logo here, and then this is my Madden career, his entire player career with his stats before 2002 and everything I played with him. And then this is just his stats with Buffalo. And so he's got 6,000, almost maybe 5,500 more yards in my franchise, more touchdowns. I threw about 22 more interceptions. I ran for more yards. However, he ran for more touchdowns in real life. But Bledsoe had a great career in my franchise. He is a Super Bowl champion for the Buffalo Bills. So great time there with Drew Bledsoe. Then we talk about Matt Leinart, who replaced Drew Bledsoe, and he went 12-22 and was no longer with the team after the 2008 season. He ended up going to the Saints, so that was kind of an interesting transfer, where the Saints ended up getting Matt Leinart, who Bledsoe was replaced for. He went 5-12 in 3 seasons, kind of as a mix of a starter and a backup, and then he was the backup in 2012, and that was pretty much it. When we compare his Buffalo Bills and my franchise with real life, he was a better quarterback with the Buffalo Bills than his entire career in the NFL. He had a much better career in my franchise than in real life. The left-handed quarterback from USC getting a little bit more of an opportunity, but he never really became anything other than a short-term starter. Then we had Dante Culpepper, who was a 4-time MVP for the Minnesota Vikings. He was the 3-time player of the year, but never touched the Super Bowl. He was 72-52 with the Vikings. He then ended up, they decided to move on from him, and so he went to the Buffalo Bills, went 16-18. Then he went to Tampa Bay, and he was 3-1 with the Bucs in 2010. And then he received an injury that took him out for like 50 weeks. And with that gruesome injury, I just said, all right, he's going to hang it up, call it quits. And so after that gruesome injury, he ended his career as a Buccaneer. When we compare him with my franchise versus his real life, and he just slammed it out of the park. Most of those stats were when he was with the Minnesota Vikings, an all-time great with the Vikings, 4 MVPs, just absolutely insane. As you can see, 357 touchdowns, 137 picks, 3,500 yards, and then 42 touchdowns, rushing almost 14,000 more yards thrown in my franchise than his real life. Josh Freeman was with the Buffalo Bills for his 2 seasons. His first year, I believe it was more of a backup. And then his second season, he started the first 3 games, was 0-3. Mike Munchak and Josh Freeman had a falling out, so they traded his ass to Tennessee, where he was the backup quarterback, got some opportunities to start, went 14-13, moved on and went to the Chicago Bears, where he started like 1-5, 1-6 with them, and they replaced him with Nick Foles. No stats from that season until the end of the year. When we look at his career, his real life was more productive than my franchise. But that's because I sort of screwed him over, I guess, with the Buffalo Bills. Not really getting a real chance to start and then getting traded very quickly. So yeah, that's the best we could do for Josh Freeman. Underperformed in my franchise and in real life. Bruce Grodkowski, he had a chance to be a starter. He had 1 full season with Buffalo. Not a full season, I guess, but he started at the end of the year. He went 9-5, made the playoffs, but then that was it. Then you had him with the Browns. He had 1 game with Cleveland. He was the backup in Oakland. Then he went to Buffalo. Then he was a backup in Detroit. Was with the San Francisco 49ers the year that Drew Brees had his worst year. The year that they moved on from Drew Brees for being too old. He got injured, so then Bruce Grodkowski went in for the 49ers, went 0-4, and now he's a backup in St. Louis with the Rams. Then we look at his career in my franchise versus his real life, and it was relatively similar. I mean, I actually threw less interceptions with him than in real life, more touchdowns, only like 400 some more yards. I did rush for 6 touchdowns with him in his career. 3 of those were with Buffalo, and he never had a career rushing touchdown. They did try Christian Ponder, had him for 2 years, went 13-20. Then he became the backup for the Bengals for 2 seasons. I forget if he's actually still there. No, he's not there. Because right now the Bengals have Derek Carr and they have Brady Quinn. That's the other guy. We see his career. I guess he was shy of about 600 yards from his real life versus my franchise. I threw for 3 more touchdowns, but I threw for 13 less interceptions, but also ran for a lot fewer yards. He was with the quarterback for the Vikings for 4 years, and then that was pretty much it. Tyler Thigpen, also a quarterback for the Bills. He played 1 game in 2 seasons, and he won that 1 game. Backup for the Lions, and then a backup for the 49ers. He had much more success in real life than my franchise. I mean, significantly better. He only had 448 yards in my franchise. He's got 3,200 yards in real life. 3 times as many touchdowns. I did throw for less interceptions, so hey. But then we got no rushing touchdowns as he did in real life. Then Tim Tebow, who was the number 1 overall pick in 2010, went 22-29 with the Saints. Then we had a nice 6-9 record with the Buffalo Bills. So the former number 1 overall pick was unable to really keep his career going. Not the best start there for the Buffalo Bills. And then he's been the backup in Miami, which is his home state of Florida. And he won the Super Bowl in 2014 as Cam Newton's backup. And he's the backup again in 2015. Now, even though his career kind of tampered off, he still had 11,000 yards in my franchise, and then his real life career was 2,400 yards. Just his 1 season with the Bills was better than his career as a the 1 year with the Bills was better than his entire career in the NFL. He did rush for more touchdowns with his entire career than the Bills, but I still ran for 17 touchdowns and 1,200 yards for his franchise, in my Madden franchise. Then E.J. Manuel, he was a top pick. He was a 2nd round pick for the Bills. He was a 1st round in real life. He went 6-13 in 2 years, 2013, 2014, and now he was shipped off. I actually think he left or whatever for the Indianapolis Colts, where he's a backup, and their season's not going so great. When we look at his real life career versus Madden, it's very similar. 3,400 yards, 3,700 yards. All of those stats were with the Bills. 26 TDs over 20 in real life. I threw 12 more interceptions, so yeah, not the best career. And then we got the career of Marcus Mariota. He is having actually a pretty good season as the starter for the Buffalo Bills. He's been pretty competitive even against Tom Brady and the Patriots. No stats for him yet, but the race to 18,879 yards and 107 TDs is my mission to make Marcus Mariota a better prospect in my franchise than he was in real life. So when we look at the Bills' backups who have no starts in my franchise, we started off with Alex Van Pelt. He's become a coach in the league, like a quarterback's coach, offensive coordinator. Dave Ragone was there from 03 to 2006. Trent Dilfer back up in 04. Dan Orlovsky from 05 to 07. He's been on ESPN a lot more recently. Seneca Wallace, 2010. John Skelton, a backup in 2013. Byron Leftwich, who actually was a fumbled Jeremy Maclin fumble away from winning the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Patriots, but he has basically been a backup, and he was a backup last season, with Buffalo. And then you got Connor Shaw, also a backup in 2014. Then we look at the all-time greats as Buffalo Bills. We see the all-time greats there. Only one of mine is Drew Bledsoe right there, because everybody else doesn't even have 6,000 passing yards. I mean, like Matt Leinart has like 5,700 or 58. And then we had Ponder had like 22,000 something. So, yeah, they were not able to make the top 6. I may decide to expand these all-time passing lists and maybe make them more, but just for these videos, I just went with the top 6 just to get some people on the list so that you have some fun. But yeah, that's the all-time Bills passing leaders. Drew Bledsoe, not able to, I mean, maybe if he stayed longer than 05, he might have been able to get past Kemp or build a Jim Kelly type legacy. But unfortunately, most of his career was with the Patriots, and he was just too old to really continue. And so the Bills made that blockbuster trade to do something different. So there you have it, the Buffalo Bills starting quarterbacks throughout the 14 seasons. I'm hoping Marcus Mariota kind of anchors that starting quarterback position for the Bills. His record and stats will be the judgment as to whether he will be that or not. And even barring injuries, I mean, if he gets hurt, that's going to change a lot too. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to see these videos more updates on these videos, excuse me. And yeah, leave a comment if you have a perception or a take on this Buffalo Bills franchise. So thanks for watching the video. Hope to see you in a future video.